Okay, the back of page 5. You'll need a piece that is 6 7/8 by 7 7/8. I'm using this heart paper, and I am going to simply glue this onto the base page. Don't forget to make sure you've got the correct orientation, especially if you've been skipping around. I'll show you in a second. But the opening is here on the right. That is the back of that page. So we'll just put this on here and center it on the page. Alrighty, now we're going to put this aside for a second, and we're going to work on a couple of pieces. This piece is 4 7/8 by 7. 4 7/8 by 7. I have cut this butterfly strip down till just about the gold lines. There's very little red on either side of the gold, just so you know that for measurement. It is 5/8 by 4 7/8. I'm sorry, 5/8 by 4 3/4. 4 3/4. I'm going to glue this on the top of the page. I've wanted to use this piece. It's pretty. And then I'm going to glue a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat onto the right side of the page, or adhere it. If you don't want to glue it, you want to use a temporary adhesive, that is okay too. Okay, and then on this side, I've cut this 6 1/4, and it's 1/2 inch. Although something's wonky, something is not exactly square. But maybe it's just me. Okay, so we have this piece all ready to go. Let's put this aside. This is 6 by 6 1/2. We have Tweedledee-Dum and Tweedledee-Dee. It just says Tweedledee. Tweedledum and Tweedledee, not Tweedledee-Dee. What am I talking about? Anyhow, it is cut down to just a little bit less than 4. It's 3 15/16. I'm sorry, 3 15/16 and 2 15/16. So it's really cut down. This is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and I'm going to glue this on top of it. I needed a larger focal point for this page, and since I didn't have any left in the correct orientation, I'm making one. This is 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. And again, we'll center this on the page, on the piece. You know, I suppose we could, at this point, ink around the edges of this piece. I sort of like that idea of toning it down. I'm using black. Just because this pattern is not going to be a predominant pattern on this page. I don't think it's toning down as much as I want it to. But it does a little bit. Okay, so that will go on to this, which is 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. I just wanted a very slight border. Three and 5/8 by 4 5/8 of the black cardstock. It's looking pretty good. 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I was looking at their face and I got hung up for a moment. So that goes here, and we're going to put it over to the left-hand side. So 1/16 of an inch from the top and from the side. You know what, I should have, yeah, I should have scored this before I put it down, but I was so excited about Tweedledum and Tweedledee that I forgot. Okay, so this piece goes right below that. This is the smaller print of this paper, the 8 by 8 one. I'm going to grab my scoreboard and score this. So with the 6-inch side at the top, I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, at 5 1/2. I'm obviously doing it backwards. All right, so let's grab this, and we have this. So what I'm going to do is to turn this upside down, the flap's facing up. I'm going to turn this upside down and put that right next to the flap. But I want the butterflies to show. So the top of this piece should be right up to that yellow line of the butterflies. So once you get that right, then I'm going to pull this flap, push it back, make sure everything's pushed right. Let's make sure the butterflies are right. They've moved. They're fluttering around, and that'll burnish. Okay, that's good. Okay, before I cover this, I'm going to add a magnet here and a magnet to under here. Get out my handy dandy magnets. This one I'm not using a 1/4 of an inch one because it's going to go over several layers of paper. I will add my tape. Oops, no. I guess I'll do this side first. Add my magnet there. And then okay. Now I know where to put the corresponding tape. and the corresponding magnet. Before I put this down, you'll want to double check, and if you have some of the flap showing, now is the time to cut it off. So I'm just ending up cutting off just that much, not very much, just a little bit. Okay. I know I want it to be right at the beginning of that third heart. I'll just go like this. Make sure I glue, whoops, I moved it. Okay. So I am a little bit less than ½ inch from the bottom. About a ½ inch of the paper is showing, ½ inch on the top. And let's burnish this. And then we'll cover this and we'll be done. I pieced together some papers. So for the right-hand side, a 3 3/4 by 6 3/8, and I used this paper with the hearts. So that's going to go over to the right. And then I have the opposite side, the red paper will show. It's 1 1/2 by 6 3/8. So I'm ending up piecing some paper together. I could have used this because we do already have that there, but I didn't like it here. It just didn't go. So you're at the point where plan it out and use what you have. But there is that. I like how that came out, don't you? We will add other elements here. I probably will add these, yeah, what are those stamps? I just think they're pretty. I think 3 of them would be nice there. I probably would add a border to it, but that's, I mean, yeah, they can go there as well. But it's introduced, I don't know. I don't know. But anyhow, that'll be a surprise. We'll wait till it's all done decorating and then you'll see. For the front of page 6, we're going to add this, and then we're going to put the hearts onto the side. So, of course, the opening's here. I think I wanted to remind myself and left a note. So I'm going to add some glue and add this to the page. Okay, so we've got that. Put that aside. All right, I have 4 papers, obviously, are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat. And I've got a ½ inch piece of the red paper by, oh, what, I'm sorry, this photo mat, or this black cardstock, is 6 7/8 by 5 1/4. So this is 6 3/4 by 1/2 inch. And then we have our 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mat. I've got this, which is 4 1/4 by, I say 1/2 inch. Yeah, it is 1/2 inch. It's exactly 1/2 inch. That'll go on the bottom. Can you tell hearts and red is the color theme here? Red, white, and hearts. And then this one will go over on the side. Now this one I cut down a little less than 1/2 inch. This one is 1/2 inch. See, 1/2 inch is a little bit too big. So I cut it down a smidgen less than 1/2 inch. Okay, so now we have that. Let's put that aside. So I have a piece of cardstock that's 7 3/4 by 4 5/8. I'm going to score this at 1 inch with the 7 3/4 at the top. I have this cut apart. It's the back side of the Curiouser and Curiouser. I have this, which is cut down to 4, and I didn't cut it down so the gold isn't showing. It's about 3/4 of an inch by 4. And then this is 1/2 inch by 6 3/4. So what's going to happen is this is going to go over on the left-hand side to the top. The hearts are going to go down here. And then these are the hearts, butterflies, and then the hearts will go on the side. So let's glue that. Let's start with this. And yes, I didn't use this yet, but you know, the reason I didn't is because Curiouser and Curiouser is several times in the album, and I didn't want to have it yet one more time. Now, there's things around it I could have done. I could have taken my alcohol marker and blotted out the Curiouser and Curiouser, or taken some ink and blotted it out, or covered it up with something else. But I sort of liked this idea. Although I'm looking at it now thinking, what? Hearts, butterflies, this frame, flowers, does it all match? Yes, it does. Because the hearts are on the page, the butterflies are there. The red, of course, the red hearts or the red flowers were always throughout this book. Okay, so put this aside and remind me, I need a magnet. All right, so now I've got this image, which I want to raise this up on here so we can slide a picture inside. But this has lines. And if you're okay with the lines, just skip this step and continue. But I don't like the lines in there. So I want to just have some plain paper. So what I'm going to do is I would sketch this right around here and then cut out a little bigger. But I don't want to get any pencil on here. I know I can erase it. But what I'm going to do is turn this upside down, and sketch. I'm going to trace, actually. Well, it doesn't have to be exact. All these little outcroppings, I'm not gonna. I don't know. Can you see my lines? You can faintly see the lines. So now what I'm going to do is cut around it. I'm going to come about 1/8 of an inch away from where my lines are. And all those little outcroppings don't matter. Now let's see if this will work. Turn this upside down. And yeah, so you can't see. If I put that on here, you won't be able to see that. And I will have this raised. So I'm going to glue this onto here. Then I'm going to put on some dimensional adhesive, some foam tape. I've got some really thin stuff, and I'm going to put that on here to raise it a little bit so we can slide a photo in. All right, let's finish this up. This piece is 7/8 by 4.5, and that's going to go on top of this 1-inch piece. I'm going to add a magnet on the underside of this piece. It's this one. That was my scissors. Grab another magnet. Okay, this piece is going to go down about 1 inch from the edge of the page, right down to the bottom of the page. And we're just going to glue it on the top, left side, and bottom, so we can make it a tuck spot if we want to. Ooh, except we've got this magnet. Well, then in that case, I'm going to go like this. So that we could have a tuck spot, but it's going to be at the top. We probably won't make it a tuck spot, to be honest with you, because I don't want to get that magnet thing confused. All right, so anyhow, 1 inch from the side all the way to the bottom. And then we're going to take this piece, I'll fold there, and this is going to go up at the top, sort of centered over this piece. So I'll add glue to the top here. It's going to go almost right to the top. Oops, there we go. And the magnet will go there. I'll add that. You didn't really need a magnet here if you don't want one. It's not going to go anywhere. And then I have this piece to cover this whole thing. Oh, sunlight's coming. This is 4.5 by 6 3/4. And I will just glue that on. And that'll go right on there. Now you still could add a photo to this if you wanted to. I'm not going to put a photo mat down just because I like the hearts. But there we go. So this goes with that. So how do you like those pages? Oh, I guess I need to finish this. I'm sorry. thought I was done. I was all excited. So I put some foam adhesive, foam dimensional tape down. Make sure I get it on straight. So you still could put something in here. But I also want to add extra embellishments, so this can go up at the top like that. And I'm going to put that on with some foam embellishments. I'm sorry, I realized I said foam embellishments. I meant foam adhesive. I put some foam adhesive on here. And there is that. So I like it. Okay, that's what we have for those pages. We're almost at the end.